Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Dofus video of all things. I was just playing Dofus and thought to myself that it's been a while since I've done like a fun little casual project. So I started thinking that what could be fun to do with my team, because I haven't been playing with it a lot recently. And then I remembered that when I was leveling some Dreams characters in Drossil Dungeon, I noticed that the meat that the monsters dropped was actually selling quite fast and for a decent price. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe there's some other kind of more valuable meat I could be farming, which led me to spoiled meat and from there to the Toxoliath dungeon, because I thought that that would be the most logical place then to go farm the meat. Once I started looking into like the keys and the prices, I thought to myself, hey, I might as well like optimize these runs and try to see what's like the maximum amount of profit I can make with the dungeon. I remember that if you do the quests for a certain area in the dimensions, it unlocks the ability to drop Oricore from the mobs, which then can be traded for dimensional fabrics. So I decided, well, I'll also just do the Toxoliath area quests while I'm at it, so that I can farm some Oricore while I'm doing the dungeon runs, but that actually ended up not working because I realized that the Oricore drops only from the monsters outside of the dungeon, so that ended up being a mishap there. But I still included the profits that I made from the actual quests, because those actually turned out to be quite impressive, and I was really surprised on how much money I can just make from just the quests. And then also I noticed that the recipes for the Dremoan items are actually, everything is farmable from the dungeon, and I only just need the like legendary treasure hunt resource. And then I looked into how much would it cost to like buy the maps or the map pieces, and at the time when I bought them, I was able to actually get 10 maps, full maps for 1 million kamas. So I was like, well, that's easy profit on itself, because the resource is listed as 500 kk on average and actually go for like 700 kk in the market. So I was like, well, that on itself is like a 5 million kamas profit. So I decided to also buy the maps, and in this video basically I'm just gonna include how I approach doing the Toxoliath dungeon, and also just kind of give you like a report on how much kamas you in theory can make from 10 runs of the dungeon. Okay, so here we have the idle score that I decided to use for this dungeon. Basically I was just aiming to get over 50% on all of the items that the monsters drop, because then the dungeon bonus of 100% will double it into a 100% drop rate for everything, well, except for the rare meat from the dungeon boss. At least that's how I think it works, that if you just have over 50 as the base rate with idols and prospecting, that carries over to 100% with the area bonus. So basically, on average, my dungeon runs took like from 30 to 45 minutes, I think that was the high end. When I was trying to get a footage for run, I actually died twice, but from then on I stopped dying and was able to do them in successive attempts. How I basically just started was I tried to kill the I think they're called Deathroids, a few of them at the beginning, and also burst the Scoliopode that rushes to you. And then I just kind of stationed my eye up next to the boss and Eniripsa 2 actually, and Panda, and started just wailing on it while I finished the other mobs in the first wave. Of course, always trying not to boost them too much with the Yosses or kill them before they have to turn if I do buff them. Yeah, I got this strategy working pretty consistently. After the boss died, there wasn't not anything that complicated left. Or sometimes I was playing carelessly and some of my characters died, which made things a little bit more interesting, but overall it wasn't too hard. I think the second round was clearly like the make or break round with 3 of the guys that half your HP. Although the fact that they reflect damage turned out to be the actually annoying part of them. HP halving didn't actually turn out to be that much of a problem. And it's also actually nice because they don't actually hit like direct damage that often, and they just tend to just use the ability that halves your HP. So giving the damage buffs usually actually didn't even matter, so I was able to just hit them pretty carefree. I think the spiders that take your AP were the main problem, but nothing really caused too much of an issue, and after all it is a level 180 dungeon. The most annoying part of this whole process was definitely doing the treasure hunts to get the Dremoan resources. especially after the change recently, I wasn't really familiar with the hints and all of that things, so hunts sometimes took me like half an hour just for one, but I was able to trim it down to around 15 minutes. The actual Dremoan fight wasn't too hard at all. Once you kind of got the setup going on, you just start being able to hit it from turn 3 and just kind of set up my portals and burst it as fast as I could with the Panda tank in there. But yeah, some of the treasure hunts turned out to be a total nightmare. When I had to do the hunts in Pandala Island, that was awful. Just the remake made it so that all of the maps just have a lot of visual clutter everywhere, and then you have to look for like a very dim engraving, and there's just so many different ones, and there were a lot of instances where I was like, I have no idea where the thing is here, but I was able to like by the method of like elimination determine where the actual thing was, even though I never like actually found it on the map. But yeah, treasure hunt's definitely the most frustrating part of this whole project here. I was actually able to get quite a bit of Process of Sands from here, and I did decide to include it in the final calculations of profits. It is part of the prep work that I designed from the beginning. Here's the total loot of what I got from the actual dungeon, as well as the amount of kamas I got from the quests, like as in just raw kamas, which was around 6 million. That was actually pretty decent. From here you can definitely see that most of the value comes from the dimensional fabrics, which really caught me off guard. After like doing some thinking about it, came to the conclusion that running the dungeon itself wasn't actually very useful. I would have actually just been better off farming the monsters outside of the dungeon, because now I just had to also pay for the keys. But the hunting meat did pay basically for the keys and left me a little bit profit, because I bought the keys for approximately 34 KK each, and when you buy 80 of them, I think it's maybe a little less than 3 million kamas. And then I made around 4 million, and hypothetically made they're still in the market, made around 4 million from the meat. I made these plans before the server merge, and the meat price was a lot higher back then, 2,000 per meat. That got my profits down almost by half from there, which was a kind of a bummer. But anyways, then I ended up crafting one each of the Dremoan items to try it out. Then I tried crushing them, but they didn't turn out to give me that much of profit. Decided that maybe my best option would be to just 7 boots that I had left the material for, and then I just did some basic maging and included a vitality transcendence rune of 50, put them into the market for around like I think it was like 1.3 million kamas. In the end, from the Dremoan stuff, I ended up making 9,549,000 kamas. And as for like runes, I think I had like 1.1 million kamas in the rune market at the end of all of this. Then in the resource market, I think I had like 21 million kamas. That's including like the dimensional fabrics and the tourmalines. A lot of this, especially like the monster resources, will take a long time to sell, and I think the dimensional fabrics too, just because I just have so much of it, and also the meat. I think the profits will actually even go down like over time. Sorry, I'm not really an spreadsheet kind of guy. I know that a lot of you guys liked them, but rough turnout of this fun little project I have here. Basically 1 million kamas I spent getting the maps, and then 2.7 million kamas getting the keys. This is not including like sale fees and buying some food, but yeah, from resources I made around 21 million kamas. From the equipment I made around 9.5 million kamas, then like 1.1 from the runes, so then around 6 million kamas from just raw from the quest rewards and stuff. Total amount of kamas I made was around 37.9 million. My estimate that I made at least like 33 million kamas. Like it pretty decent for the amount of work I actually put into this. Wasn't that bad. So this was a fun little project. Let me know if you enjoyed this kind of a video, even though maybe it's a little lazy execution. But thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment and stuff like that. Yeah, peace.